We're here with Nerchio. Cześć.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, so the status of the tournament right now is that you're in the lower bracket and you're going to play Grubby, but we'll start like at the beginning of the day so you can go in order. So first match, you get drawn in the first round against Sortov, and he's the guy who at IEM beat you in the group stage. Like, what were you expecting going into that match? Do you think that was a hard draw for you?
Yeah, actually, it's probably the strongest opponent I could get in the first rounds. I mean, if we of course exclude like Stefano and some other really top guys. Yeah, so I think it's pretty much the hardest player I could face. And I actually I came into this match understanding that the loss is a possibility for me. So even after the match when it was very close, like I lost 1-2, but yeah, I wasn't really angry or disappointed because I knew that Sortov is very good and I can lose to him. And I also understood that I can go then into the losers bracket like later rounds.
Do you think there's a reason why he particularly is strong against you? Because I've noticed like he's beaten you in ZVZ, but then like for example at IEM he then just went and lost to Slivko in ZVZ, and so it seems like he's stronger against you than against some of the other good players.
I'm not sure. I mean, he beat me at IEM, but there was a small tournament like CEE, and I played him too, and then I won.
Yeah.
So it's like pretty much the same day or the day after. So yeah, our matches are always very close, like 1-2, 2-1 for me or for him. But I'm not really a fan of ZVZ lately, especially because ZVZ in Europe is insane level. So yeah, I struggle a little bit with ZVZ, but in general, I mean, I wasn't so afraid of Sortov, just in ZVZ in general.
When you then dropped to the lower bracket, Bly beat Mana. Did you expect this?
Bly was afraid of Mana, but I wasn't so afraid of Bly, let's say. Mana isn't very good against Zerg, really. Bly has like very weird style against Protoss, but lately he changed it a little bit. So maybe some people still don't expect it because, you know, he was playing like really exceptional style before that nobody really knew what to expect from him. And right now he changed it to, let's say, more standard one. So it can surprise some people that it's more standard than non-standard.
When Bly got to the match against Vortex, he like was quite close to possibly just getting a qualifying right there if he'd won that match. And instead, obviously, he's out of the tournament now. What did you think of his overall performance? What did he like play to the level you expected?
Well, I was pretty convinced. I mean, I was sure that he will win the first and the second match. The bracket was quite good for him at start, but then there was the connection with my part of bracket, so Vortex won this side. Yeah, I think Bly would have problems with pretty much every person like me, Vortex and Sortov that advanced from my part. Well, unfortunately, like Vortex advanced and then he was in the lower bracket against me. So kind of unfortunate because you know losing 2 ZVZs in the tournament, not really able to show himself from the good sides like against Terran maybe or Protoss. Yeah, that's kind of sad.
So when you drop down, first round you play, I think it's called like
Notissimus.
Okay, this Norwegian guy. Did you know about him before this tournament? Have you ever played him before?
Well, yeah, I think I heard his name. Maybe I even played him on the ladder, and I saw like you know in the players area that Vortex was playing against a game against him. So I also saw the strategy. He used Immortal Owen. That's not a very surprising for me.
How did you think the game went against him? Was it easy? Was it standard?
Yeah, actually, like he destroyed Vortex quite easily. But of course, it was ladder game. They are both in the tournament, so maybe they didn't give 100% of their skill. But I was quite confident. I'm a little bit afraid of playing Protoss that all-ins a lot, but it's not that yeah, I was pretty convinced that I will win, especially because I saw he's going next first pretty much every game. So I used my best strategy, which is 8 pull, and it worked perfectly. Yeah.
So with the next match was Thorzan. At that point in the tournament, before you played him, like some people would have had Thorzan as one of the favourites to get one of the 6 spots before the tournament. So were you at all worried that like you might go out of the tournament in the second round of the lower bracket? Was this a possibility?
Well, when I saw Thorzan, I was, pretty, let's say, angry that my bracket is very hard from the very beginning, like meeting sort of, and then playing the loser bracket, and then Thorzan. But to be honest, watching Thorzan, I wasn't very impressed lately, online, offline, when I saw his play. So I wasn't that afraid. I knew that I can beat him, especially because he fell from the winner's bracket, losing to Lowly, who is a Zerk as well. And I think I'm like at the same level as Lowly, to say the least. And yeah, so I was pretty convinced that I can win.
In the next match, you had to play the Muslim, and even though the Muslim doesn't necessarily get like so far in tournaments or get any high placings, it seems like he's a guy who always manages to have like one game or one series against someone good at each tournament where he does well, and that's why people always talk about him. And he'd beaten you at IM as well. What did you think of this game?
Well, after IM, there was I already talked about like the second tournament where I actually met him in the finals again, and I won. Because like at IM, I was very surprised. Let's say what style is he using, because it was like pretty much Medivac and mass Medivacs and Bio, which works really well against like infestor play. But yeah, so I knew how he is playing, so I knew what to do to counter him, and it worked well. I must say, I was sure that it would be harder than Thorzan, because as I said, Thorzan is in the best shape right now. But yeah, I was sure that I can beat the Muslim as well, but I knew it would be a little bit harder than Thorzan, and it actually was so.
The Muslim said that like he was tired from like taking a flight and just arriving in time to play this tournament. Do you think that had any effect on the games at all, or did he seem
well? I'm
fresh
pretty
in the
sure
game?
it had, but I think he didn't have any sleep, and he traveled like 12 hours or more with plane. Same with Stefano, and Stefano even lost his equipment, but he's still doing very well. Like already qualified for WCS World Finals, even though he was qualified already from France. Yeah, but I don't know if we can judge that. The Muslim played worse. I mean, I think he played worse because he was tired as well. But since Stefano is doing, and it looks like it didn't affect him too much, maybe I don't know.
Originally in the upper bracket, we saw that it was possible for you and Bly to play like a few matches in, 3 matches in, I think. Instead, you ended up meeting in the lower bracket after like much confusion of not knowing who would play who.
Yeah.
The last couple of times you've played Bly, you've beaten him. Did you have like a good handle on how to beat him this time?
It's hard to say. I mean, maybe I'm not an expert about the Bly style because he changes from time to time. But I knew that he plays Muta as well. We pretty much played Mutas both games. And I was quite confident. I'm not sure why, but it seems like I usually have the thing that can win against him, even though he's very good against other Zergs. But yeah, I think the time will come and where he will win me.
In the next match, you're going to play Grubby. Like, what do you think of Grubby's, how his tournament's gone so far? Because it seems like he's played quite a few easy players compared to, for example, your part of the bracket. And the fact that he just beat Red, like, what do you think of playing Grubby now?
I heard that Red did a huge mistake, like he even won the game, but then lost all the buildings or something like that. But yeah, I'm not really the one to judge, the skill of the players that he was playing. Maybe it was a little bit easier than mine, but I'm not quite sure. And yeah, I don't know. It looks like I'm quite good against Protoss, but I still don't really like that matchup. And when I played against Grubby, well, it was quite some time ago, like maybe 2 weeks or something. Then he won me like 2 or 3 games, and I didn't win any. So, it stays in my mind that something that like that can happen. So I'm not very confident, but I'm not afraid as well.
Okay, let's talk about some of the other, like, not your matches in the tournament. So, for example, both Vortex and Lucifron already qualified for the World Finals. This is probably a surprise to some people, even though Vortex had this IEM run.
Yeah, it's. I think like Vortex and Lucifron are brothers, so I'm sure they are happy that they will probably be able to go together. But I mean, it's not a big surprise for me because the bracket overall was really weird. You know, some parts were stronger than the other ones. But yeah, Vortex and Lucifron are great players. Like Vortex was winning me a lot on the ladder as well. Lucifron maybe a little bit less, but looks like he prepared for this tournament, so he deserves to qualify for finals as well. And yeah, and there's also Stefano, which is not a big surprise. I mean, without his stuff, but it's probably similar, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, but Stefano, I think, had a very nice bracket for him, because he only met Lowly, which is a very good Zerg, but I think he lacks a little bit, you know, to be at the very top, especially in ZVZ. And yeah, and Stefano pretty much, you know, dodged all the other Zergs that were not in his bracket. So in terms of that, he was quite lucky. But I'm not sure how is his ZVZ. It looked very strong against Lowly. So maybe it's not about luck. Just Stefano is very good.
So far, there's only one Terran qualified, and there's still Happy, I think, is still alive in the lower bracket. Is it just the people who qualify for this tournament, or is Europe like so weak at Terran overall?
Yeah, I think that Terrans in Europe struggle quite a bit. I mean, now there is this new style with mech after, you know, Hellion Banshee opening, and Terrans do a little bit better. Like the skill level on the ladder is higher, but they still need to, you know, gain more experience playing as mech, because I think it's the way to play right now against Zerg, especially. I won't talk really about, you know, playing against Protoss Terran, but yeah, we can see that Terrans in Korea are doing very well, so there is no reason like to cry or whine. It just, I'm not sure why, but let's say Cass is amazing Terran, but he struggles a little bit from time to time. I just feel like he has to play a lot without, you know, breaks, for example. And Happy is amazing too, but I don't know, he sometimes does weird mistakes and then loses in the tournaments, even though he has the skill to go very far.
So before this tournament, I think if you'd asked a lot of people, like, pick your favorite, who you think the favorites are to win the whole tournament, a lot of people probably would have mentioned you because of Home Story Cup, because of IEM, these great results. Now you're in the lower bracket, but you've made this run. Like, from where you are right now, how strong is your feeling that you're going to finish top 3? You think it's going to happen still?
Top 3 maybe is not that, you know, hard to do. It's like only 2 or 3 matches, which is very possible. But I'm not sure if I can do top 1. Actually, right now I don't feel like playing on the main stage. I don't know why, just the feeling, you know. I'm not nervous or anything. But yeah, maybe it will affect me a little bit. My main goal is though just to qualify for WCS finals. And that's what I will concentrate now. I don't really need to win. I don't feel, you know, the greed for being the best player in Europe in this tournament. So
it was announced a few days ago that the prize for the final of the WCS like World Championship is apparently going to be like $100,000 for first place or something. If that was the case and you qualify, will you just go about things as normal, or will you go hardcore trying to practice more, just the same as normal?
It's a big prize pool, but I don't really play like the game for money or anything like that. I like to play the game. I play for fun. Of course, I like the, you know, to be competitive, but no, I don't necessarily need to win. I would be disappointed if I lost, like, you know, in the first 2 matches in the winners and losers bracket. But right now I'm already like top 10 or something. So even if I go out, it won't be really like very sad for me or anything. And in WCS finals, you know, there's also a lot of Koreans. The skill level will be much higher. Maybe, you know, there will be some people from US, and I think US is a little bit worse. So depends also on the brackets. It can go very well and it can go very bad. I don't even know who qualified. Maybe it didn't even finish in Korea, so it's hard to say. But Koreans for sure will be like top tier, and it will be very hard.
Okay, any final words you want to say? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, thanks to Team Acer, all my fans. I hope I can qualify for WCS finals, and I guess that's it.
Okay. Widzimy się jutro.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.